I would try to associate your time to, I'm just gonna make up a number here. Give yourself $100 an hour, right? You could give yourself $1,000 an hour, but give yourself an hour. So when you're looking at hourly rate, when you're doing this, so if you say, okay, well, I'm creating content and I've put in 5 blocks Monday through Friday to create content of my time, that is $500 worth of my time, right? That I've now have $500 worth of my time. Now that $500, can I 10x that $500 and turn it into $5,000 worth of value? Because I'm going to be reaching new customers, going to be selling more product, I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z. So your time has value, and that value should be able to be multiplied through efforts. Newsflash, your schedule is going to fall apart consistently. It's just going to happen. No matter how good you think your schedule is, or how bulletproof it is, or how much buy-in you have, there's going to be forces that come in and want to tear apart your calendar and your schedule. So you just need to have enough fortitude and stamina to make it through your schedule to say, you know what? I see these external forces. I'm going to push them out. I'm going to stay consistent because my time has value. When you have a job, your boss tells you what to do. Your boss is saying, hey, Danny, I got to do this thing, or whoever, right? Your boss is typically, or your manager is typically saying, hey, these things have to get done. They're essentially holding your schedule. But when you become an entrepreneur, you're the boss. And if you're not telling yourself what to do, and then you're letting your time kind of slip, then now you're not only being the boss, but you're also being a bad manager. And that's really one of the cruxes of being an entrepreneur is like, I have to manage my time. And then as your business grows, you start bringing in employees and partners and all that kind of stuff. And then you have to manage their time and then find a manager and keep stacking and stacking and stacking. But all you're really doing when you're stacking and bringing more people in is you're just managing projects, managing time, managing tasks, projects, time, tasks, projects, time, tasks. That's why having good project management tools like Monday.com, having good calendars, having all these AI assistants, like when you run a large organization, like you have to have that infrastructure in place. But I say treat yourself like you are a large organization. Just treat yourself like you're a 200-person shop, like today. If you were running a $10 million business, how would you act differently than you act today? Right? Most of the CEOs I know that run very, very large, successful businesses, uh, they're probably the most militant people that I know when it comes to their calendars. I mean, they do not let anything slip. They can't. I mean, you know, you kind of think the misnomer is like, oh, they're out there golfing and yachting. Not really. I mean, most of the folks that I know are like, they wake up way early. They're already getting it in. They get their exercise in. They're eating healthy. They're getting their mind right. They're getting, you know, they're doing all those things. They're setting up their day, and then they boom, then they go. By the time they're turning off their calendar, they're already like, they work. I think I don't remember specifically the statistics on this, but entrepreneurs uh, work like 2 to 3 hours longer than employees, and typically earn about 70% less than if you were an employee for that first 2, 3 year phase. So you're just going to be grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. You're going to be earning less and working more traditionally until you get into a groove, into a rhythm, and your business starts scaling, and then you're able to bring in employees and you have like that whole infrastructure. So a lot of people hear that and they go, I don't want to do that. Why do I want to work more and earn less? And it's like, well, you want the freedom, or you're so tied into your vision, or there's some North Star that's pulling you into this thing. It's a calling. Like, I have to do this thing. It's who I am. Like, of course I got to create this product or deliver this service, right? But for the most part, this is why 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first year. Why did 9 out of 10 fail in the first year? Because they weren't mentally prepared to earn less and work more. They didn't bring in the right infrastructure and the right resources that they didn't have groups like this holding them accountable. So they floundered in their silo. They got discouraged. They quit. Well, 9 out of 10 of the businesses in the second year, those fail. These are stats. So 9 out of 10 businesses in the second year fail. And the businesses that make it to 5 years and then 10 years, you just get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Globalization, economic pressure, competition. I mean, go down the list. There's a million reasons. There's a million factors of why businesses don't succeed. So you, first of all, you have to know that. You have to be aware that businesses just fail. That's just a fact of life. Then you have to ask yourself, am I going to be on that side of the table, or am I going to be on this side of the table? What is it that makes the people on the successful side win? What is it about them that they consistently win versus the people on this side that consistently don't win? I think it's throwing in the towel too early, quite frankly. Throwing in the towel way too early. Not having the guts and the courage, not being vulnerable enough to put yourself out there, not asking for help early enough. not building a team, not thinking big enough, right? It's all these things. I mean, so these are reasons. My objective here is to try to help move everybody on this table to, I'm trying to edge everyone over to the winner's side. I'm just trying to inch you along into just every day, every second, time blockings, challenges, accountability, toughest challenge every day, just coming on in, right? So I say about entrepreneurship is like, yeah, it might not be this project, whatever you're working on may not be this one. But if you stay in the game and you're committed to working for yourself, it will be something, as long as you don't quit. Just never, never, ever quit if you're committed. Just don't do it. So I see a bunch of comments going down. But that's really the objective, and kind of back, Ollie, back to your question about, you know, what this group's about and what we're trying to do here. I mean, just trying to win, trying to hold people accountable, trying to hold myself accountable. You know, it's cool going into these large organizations that have a lot of cash, and they can throw money at problems and bodies at problems. When you don't have the financial resources, you could just throw your own time at the problems. That is your resource. Your own time is all you can throw at the problems. So if you're like, yeah, I wish I had 20 grand, 200 grand to throw at problems, but I don't. I have 2 grand. I got to pay rent next week. So what can I do? I have to throw my time into the problem. What I've done over the years is I brought in interns. I brought in a lot of interns. I even have some of those interns in this group. Over the many, many years of doing this, I just go on to Craigslist, go on to LinkedIn, find anybody who wants to work for free. There's a lot of legalities around that, so you got to be careful. But if you're smart, you can bring them in. Now you're multiplying. Bring in family members, bring in friends, bring in, you know, just bring in anyone you can. Always just pull resources. Like you're trying to be this magnet of pulling more resources in. So what can you do to increase your time? And that's why this time blocking exercise is so important, because you're just essentially trying to create more time. It's a thing like executive coaches talk all about. If I wanted to be an executive coach full time and I was creating an ad campaign, the number one pain point that I probably try to solve for CEOs is let me give you more time. Work with me, I'll give you more time. And they go, oh, how are you gonna do that? Time block. Show me your calendar. You can also do the same thing with earning revenue. So if you look at your calendar, you're like, oh, I just want to make more money. Show me your calendar and show me all the biz dev calls you have. It's like, yeah, you want to make more money? Show me your calendar. How many of these time blocks are going to lead to producing more revenue on your calendar? One? That's not acceptable. Well, how do I get more things on my calendar that are going to produce revenue?